by Jupiter's mighty thunder. Welcome to Only True Astrologers Can Answer These Questions, the quiz night special of the century. I'm your host, Arlo, and this is episode 15 of Learn Traditional Astrology. Tonight, tradition steps into the spotlight, and only the sharpest minds will rise to the top. Let's meet our cosmic contenders. First up, the voice of balance and beauty. She spent 3 years decoding modern charts and isn't afraid to question tradition. It's Ella.
Thanks, Arlo. I've read all the modern takes, but tonight I'm ready to see if I can charm some answers out of the old stars. Let's see what the tradition has in store.
Well reasoned, Ella. Next, we have Clara, the methodical mind who brings rigor to the zodiac. And finally, Katrina, whose passion for tradition might just make her the one to beat tonight. And here's Cherry, our ever-reliable AI astrological assistant. She'll be tracking scores, citing sources, and keeping things more accurate than a lunar eclipse.
System calibrated. Sources ready. Quiz protocol engaged.
Here's how it works. I'll pose one question at a time, rotating through each of our contestants. Get it right, score a point. Miss it, and the heavens may not be as kind next time. We're kicking things off with the basics, but don't get too comfortable. Things are about to get a little more Saturnian. Only true astrologers will navigate the depths and emerge victorious tonight. Let's begin with round 1. By Saturn's stern gaze. Welcome to round 1, Planetary Professions. This is where we separate the dignified from the detriment. I'll name a profession, and each of you will tell me which planet it belongs to, according to traditional sources, of course. Think medieval. Think authoritative. Think astrologers with beards and parchment. 1 point per correct answer. Cherry's keeping score, and she takes no bribes. Ella, you're up first. Tell me, which planet is traditionally linked with judges?
Well, Mercury rules communication and logic, right? So, Mercury?
Incorrect. The correct planet is Jupiter. In traditional astrology, Jupiter governs law, judgment, and moral wisdom. Abu Mashar names Jupiter as the planet of just judges, and William Lilly calls him the planet of senators, counselors, and doctors of law.
A noble effort, Ella. But Mercury would argue all day. Jupiter just declares the verdict. Clara, let's see what you've got. Your profession, Emperor. Who's the celestial ruler here?
That would be the Sun. William Lilly assigns emperors and kings to the Sun.
Correct. The Sun represents authority, kingship, and power over realms.
The sun rises for Clara. 1 point. And Katrina, here's one for the contemplative heart. Which planet rules over monks?
I'd say Saturn. Solitude, austerity, discipline, it fits.
Correct. Saturn is the planet of ascetics, hermits, and monastic devotion. Abu Mashar writes that Saturn signifies the ascetics of religions and those who live apart from the world.
Excellent. Cold, distant, and deeply dedicated, just like Saturn himself. 1 point to Katrina. And that concludes our first round. Clara and Katrina are tied with 1 point each, and Ella, well, the stars haven't quite aligned yet. But don't worry, round 2 will shake up the heavens. Think you're ready for more planetary puzzles? By the blazing constellations. Welcome back to our Cosmic Coliseum, and to round 2, Planetary Metals. This round isn't about people, it's about elements. Ancient astrologers linked metals to planets through hermetic and alchemical traditions. So let's see who can turn lead into gold with their answers. 1 question each. Still 1 point per correct answer. Ella, you're up. Time to magnetize that brain. Tell me, which planet is traditionally associated with lodestones? That's magnetic iron ore.
Lodestones are magnetic and iron-rich. That's giving Mars energy to me.
Correct. William Lilly associates lodestones with Mars, for their iron content and magnetic pull, echoing the forceful nature of the red planet. Though Agrippa linked them to Saturn because of their heaviness, Mars holds the traditional connection in this context.
Bullseye. Looks like your answer pulled in some points, just like a lodestone. That's 1 on the board for Ella. Clara, let's slow things down. Which planet is classically associated with lead?
Lead is dense, cold, and enduring. That sounds like Saturn.
Correct. Alberuni identified lead as Saturn's metal, heavy, resistant, and somber, just like the planet itself.
Exactly. Saturn may be slow, but you moved at lightning speed with that one. Precision is power, Clara. And now, Katrina, something a little more luminous. Which planet is traditionally associated with silver?
Silver belongs to the moon.
Correct. The moon governs silver, fluid, changeable, reflective. Just like the moon's shifting face, silver gleams with celestial resonance.
Well said. Silver and the moon, a match made in heaven. Literally. And that wraps up round 2. Clara and Katrina are tied with 2 points each, and Ella is only 1 shimmer behind. The real tension's just beginning. Stargazers. Round 3 is right around the corner, and let's just say, the cosmos is about to throw a few curveballs. By the beauty of equilibrium. Welcome back, my brilliant stargazers, to round 3, Flora and Fauna. We've explored the human world, we've mined the metals of the cosmos, now we root ourselves in the wild wonders of nature. From the spice rack to the ocean, and dream gardens to mythic beasts, every corner of the natural world was woven into the fabric of traditional astrology. I'll give you a plant or an animal, you tell me its ruling planet, 1 point each, and no room for weeds in your logic. Ella, you're up. Which planet rules over that zesty fire starter of the kitchen? Ginger.
Mars. It's bold, hot, and definitely not subtle.
Correct. Ginger's pungency and heating properties make it Martian in nature. It stimulates action, promotes circulation, and has also been associated with the sun for its vibrant qualities, according to both Agrippa and Lily.
Flawless deduction, Ella. Mars in the kitchen, and now Mars on the scoreboard. Clara, we're shifting gears to something more dreamlike. What planet traditionally rules the poppy?
Given its connection to sleep and altered states, I'll go with the moon.
Correct. The poppy is governed by the moon. Its opiate qualities resonate with lunar symbolism, mystery, dreams, emotional tides, and the unconscious.
Like a well-written formula, quiet but powerful. Another point for Clara. Katrina, let's go aquatic. Which planet is associated with the dolphin?
My first instinct was the moon, but I'm going to say Venus. Dolphins are social, graceful, and honestly, a bit flirtatious.
Correct. Venus rules the dolphin, embodying harmony, beauty, and the playful intelligence often attributed to the creature. The dolphin was sacred to Aphrodite, goddess of love.
A dazzling choice. Venus glides in, and so do you, with elegance and accuracy. Round 3 draws to a close, and it's as close as a conjunction at sunrise. Clara and Katrina are tied at 3, and Ella's not far behind, glowing like Mars at opposition. Coming up next, round 4. This one peels back the veil. We're going deeper, into the symbolic, the strange, and the subtle. Don't go anywhere. By Saturn's stern gaze, we've arrived at round 4, Planetary Archetypes. This is where tradition deepens and the planets take on human form. These aren't just professions anymore. They're characters, roles, myths brought to life. Each correct answer still earns 1 point. And remember, this is the last round before our final category. Let's see who truly knows the souls behind the spheres. Ella, you're up. Which planet is traditionally associated with middle-aged men?
I'm going with Jupiter. He just feels like that wise mentor type.
Correct. Jupiter represents maturity, wisdom, and expansive knowledge, often associated with middle-aged men, educators, and philosophers.
Well played. Jupiter is the sage on the hill, and that point puts you right back in orbit. Clara, your turn. Which planet is traditionally linked to the musician, or more broadly, the artist of grace and beauty?
Venus. It's the planet of harmony, artistry, and aesthetic refinement.
Correct. Venus governs music, art, charm, and anything that delights the senses. Agrippa describes Venus as inspiring all things melodious and beautiful.
Elegant and on point. Venus would have applauded that answer in perfect rhythm. Katrina, last one for this round. Which planet is associated with necromancers, those who speak with the dead?
Mercury, especially in his role as psychopomp.
Correct. Mercury governs speech, hidden knowledge, and as the psychopomp, he traverses the boundary between life and death. He is the only planet permitted to move between realms.
By Mercury's swift wings, that's the answer of someone who sees beyond the veil. We've got a double tie at the top, Clara and Katrina with 4 points each, and Ella just one behind. But the journey's not over. Because coming up next is our final challenge, Round 5, Medical Astrology. And trust me, this is where tradition gets anatomical. By Jupiter's mighty thunder, welcome to Round 5, Medical Astrology. In centuries past, the stars didn't just reveal fate, they diagnosed illness. Each planet was said to govern parts of the body, afflictions of the flesh, and the humors that flowed within us. I'll name a condition. You'll name the planet traditionally associated with it. 1 point per answer. And remember, Renaissance physicians didn't have antibiotics. They had the heavens. Ella, you're up. Which planet governs palsies, tremors, paralysis, and stiffness?
Cold and rigid? That feels like Saturn to me.
Correct. Palsies were attributed to Saturn, cold, dry, and heavy, bringing paralysis, slowness, and hardness.
Exactly. Saturn may chill the limbs, but your instincts are warming up. Another point for Ella. Clara, which planet was said to rule over diabetes?
That would be Venus, sweetness and fluids.
Correct. Venus governs moisture, sweetness, and the kidneys. Diabetes, in humoral medicine, was viewed as a Venusian excess, indulgent and fluid.
A perfect deduction. Venus may sweeten the cup, but in excess, she stirs imbalance. Katrina, brace yourself. Which planet is associated with bladder stones?
That sounds painful and sharp. I'll say Mars.
Correct. Mars governs inflammation, heat, and anything that cuts, including bladder stones, wounds, and surgical pain.
By the blazing constellations. You cut straight to the answer, Katrina. That's Mars through and through. And that brings us to the close of Round 5. Ella finishes strong with 4 points, a valiant performance. But now, we face a celestial standoff. Clara and Katrina, both tied at 5 points, and only one can claim the cosmic crown. It's time for the final round, the celestial duel. Only one question stands between our champions and victory. Prepare yourselves. Great Saturn's timeless rings. We've reached the celestial duel, our final test. 1 question each. This time, the stakes are higher, and the answers, more intricate. I'll name a person or creature. You must each name 2 planets traditionally associated with it. There may be more than 2 correct answers, but if both your choices are in the traditional canon, you score the point. Clara, your tiebreaker challenge. Name 2 planets traditionally associated with goats.
Saturn and Jupiter.
Saturn is correct, associated with Capricorn, endurance, isolation, and the rugged spirit of the goat. However, Jupiter is not traditionally listed.
A noble attempt. Saturn holds the mountain, but Jupiter doesn't graze there. Katrina, your final challenge. Name 2 planets traditionally associated with thieves.
Mercury, and Mars.
Correct. Mercury, lord of cunning, trickery, and sleight of hand. Mars, planet of force, aggression, and unlawful deeds.
By Mercury's swift wings, well struck, a bold and brilliant answer. And we have our cosmic champion, Katrina, a rising star of traditional astrology, victorious in her very first duel. Let's hear it for all three of our celestial contenders, Ella, Clara, and Katrina, each one lighting up the sky in their own way tonight.
High-scoring data indicates all contestants exceeded 80th percentile accuracy on traditional associations. Stellar performance.
Well said, Cherry. And to you, our viewers, thanks for riding this planetary roller coaster with us. If you enjoyed this cosmic quiz, please like, subscribe, and drop your score in the comments. Could you have beaten Katrina?
Bye.
Transmission complete. Until next time, fellow stargazers.